Princess Eugenie makes announcement as royal follows in Meghan and Harry's footsteps. Princess Eugenie is following in Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's footsteps as she has announced the launch of a new podcast. Princess Eugenie took to Instagram to share the exciting news, coming 2 years after Meghan and Prince Harry signed a multi-year deal with Spotify to produce exclusive audio content and podcasts. The youngest daughter of Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson announced in a post published on Wednesday morning her charity, the Anti-Slavery Collective, is launching its new podcast. The weekly program is titled Floodlight and will host an array of guests discussing modern slavery and how to put an end to it. Princess Eugenie is co-hosting the podcast with her close friend Julia de Boinville, who co-founded with her The Collective, an organization aiming to raise awareness of modern slavery and find ways to end it. The prince's message read, "My charity, at the _anti_slavery_collective is delighted to announce its new podcast, Floodlight. Join me, and my co-founder, Julia de Boinville each week as we sit down with guests from all walks of life who are helping to combat modern slavery in a variety of ways. From lawmakers and company leaders to famous activists, survivors and journalists, Floodlight shows you just how prominent modern slavery is and that we can all do something about it." We want to thank all our guests for joining us, as well as at StackPod for making this project come to life. It is available anywhere you listen to podcasts, just search Floodlight or follow the link in my bio to listen now. Eugenie also shared a promotional picture for the podcast, showing herself and Ms. de Boinville. The pair already released the first episode of their new venture, a 37-minute program during which they speak about modern slavery with Carolyn Hawkey OBEQC, a barrister who helped draft the Modern Slavery Act and led the prosecution for Operation Ford, the largest human trafficking ring ever exposed in the UK. Princess Eugenie isn't the first member of the royal family to host a podcast. In December 2020, Meghan and Prince Harry led a holiday special episode, shortly after it was announced they had signed a deal with Spotify. During the special episode, the couple reflected on 2020 and hosted an array of guests, including comedian James Corden and singer Sir Elton John. Several months later, on March 24, the Sussex's audio production company, Archewell Audio, announced the Duchesses to lead a new podcast, called Archetypes. The program aims at investigating the labels and stereotypes manufactured to try to hold women back. Archetypes will launch this summer and is to feature uncensored conversations on the topic. In a teaser trailer released last month, Meghan can be heard saying, "This is Archetypes, the podcast where we dissect, explore, and subvert the labels that try to hold women back. I'll have conversations with women who know all too well how these typecasts shape our narratives. And I'll talk to historians to understand how we even got here in the first place." Spotify isn't the only streaming giant the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are working with. 2 years ago, after stepping down as senior royals, Meghan and Harry also signed a multi-year deal with Netflix to produce docuseries and children's programming among other shows. The pair has so far announced the production of 2 products, Heart of Invictus, focused on the Invictus Games and its participants, and Pearl, an animated series following the adventures of a young girl. Princess Eugenie and the Sussexes are not the only ones within the firm to have stepped into the world of podcasts. In February 2020, Kate took part as a special guest in an episode of Happy Mum, Happy Baby by Giovanna Fletcher. During the 30-minute-long program, the Duchess spoke candidly about motherhood, her preparation ahead of childbirth and her own childhood and how it inspires her as a mother. In February 2020, Kate took part as a special guest in an episode of Happy Mom, Happy Baby by Giovanna Fletcher. During the 30-minute-long program, the Duchess spoke candidly about motherhood, her preparation ahead of childbirth and her own childhood and how it inspires her as a mother.